Alrighty internet, now in this video we're going to go through getting some data about stocks and then throwing it into a CSV file. Now I should point out, I did just record this video, it took me 40 minutes and then the microphone died midway through and I had absolutely no idea that it had died. So this one's going to be slightly quicker because I realised how boring it was. So I have some bits I've already coded, so there's going to be bits of copy and pasted, especially the imports because that's a really boring bit. And I'm going to go through talking through everything that we do along the way. So let's get started. Oh yes, you're going to want to check in the doobly-doo because there's a link to this file. This file contains a list of stock tickers from the London stock market. And if you want to follow along with this tutorial, it will be useful to have these tickers. You don't have to have them. Yeah, you can if you want. They're in the description, as will the code for this video as well. This is a video that was made from a viewer request. The chap's name was anonymous. What a weird name, but there we go. Yeah, so let's go and we'll start off by creating a file and I'll throw in some imports. Wow, that was quick. How did you type that fast? I don't know. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is let's read in the files, those stocks from the files, the tickers from the files really. And we'll say tickers is going to be equal to a little array. We'll say with open, and we just want to say tickers.csv. This is in the same directory as the file currently. So we can say tickers file or ticker file. I don't care. I don't know if you know why I'd bother changing that. And then we can say for ticker in ticker file tickers append ticker strip like that. Then we're going to say return tickers. And now we've got all of our tickers in from the CSV file. The strip there is just to check that in case there's some characters that have managed to make their way into the CSV file that we don't want, we're just going to get rid of it. Okay, next let's define our toCSV method. We're going to be using that to write things to CSV. So we're going to say toCSV. This one is going to be taking a list of the stocks that we acquire. We're going to actually get the ones that are below their 200-day moving mean, just to make things a little bit more interesting than just getting a list of stocks. This is going to be double if you're using W if you're using Python 3. Well, if you're following along with me, you probably should be using Python 3 anyway. Okay, then writer, get the CSV writer, pass it that output file. There we go. And then we want to say writer.writeRow like this. And what we're going to get is we're going to pass in from the stocks. We want to get the first one just arbitrarily because we know there's going to be there's one in there. And we want to get the keys from it and use that to write the very first row. So the keys from a dictionary, it's going to be a dictionary, a list of dictionaries. We'll get the keys and they'll go across the top of the CSV file so we know what's happening. Then we'll go through every single one of the stocks, including the first one, and we'll say for stocks in stocks, we want to say writer.writeRow stocks.values. No, not stocks, stock.value, like that. And that will write all the values from the dictionaries into the rows in the CSV file. So that's pretty cool. Let's go and start writing up the entry point for this. So we want to say if name underscore name is equal to main, like so. So if you don't know what this if main thing is here, what it is, right, is if you're importing functions from other files. So let's say we import this function here from another file. Everything that's not within a function. So for example, if I said, like if I had print hello there, that would get run when we import something. So by putting it in this name equals main thing, what it does is say when we actually run the main file, we run it as its actual own script. That's when this stuff gets run. That was a bit of a dodgy explanation, but hopefully you got the gist of what was going on there. Then we're going to define a method as well at some point called getLastDayData. And we'll pass in the ticker. And finally, we're going to just call the CSV, and we'll have say below mean. So I'm probably just going to do a global variable, which you probably shouldn't do, but we're going to do that up here. Make things nice and simple. Below mean, there we go. I say nice and simple, I'm just being lazy really. So then we need to define that get last day method. So say get last day data, pass in the ticker. One thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to actually append the L, because remember these are from the London Stock Exchange. The Yahoo data reader that we're going to be using is going to be using tickers. So like if you, for example, have a ticker, I don't know, BA, it will only be registered by Yahoo data reader as BA.L, so it knows where it's come from. So we can say check dot, we'll have to write this method as well. Slightly annoying method to write, that is, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Then we need a date, so this is going to be, you know, today. So datetime.now, like that. Actually, it won't be today, because let's say we're running this on a Sunday or a Saturday, it will be the last working day, and I'll show you why. Well, it won't be. This date will be correct, but yeah. So we can do start date, and we'll do 205, 01, 01, just arbitrary, like that. The end date is going to be equal to string, and then now struff time. I don't know if you know how you pronounce that. Pass in the arguments to dictate how we're going to do this. So it's going to be year, month, day with dashes in between. So put a dash, then put %, lowercase m for month in this particular format, and then %d for day. There we go. Coming back, all weekdays. So we want to get all the weekdays from the dates we're talking about, because basically stocks only trade on the weekdays as far as I'm aware. So we want to get rid of all the weekends, and the way we can do this is by using a wonderful little method in Pandas called date range. And what we can do is pass in our date range, so start date, and then the end is going to be equal to the end date, like so. Oh my god, he can't type. And then we're passing the frequency, capital B, for business day. So we're only going to get the business days. Next, let's go ahead and wrap stuff in a try block. We're going to have two exceptions. One of them is going to be a remote data error, and the other one's just going to be a general exception in case something goes wrong. And we don't want the script to crash because there's going to be a lot of data that we're going to be processing. So we could probably, it's probably not best to do that where we just catch general exceptions, but we're going to do it for this because we can. So let's get the data. We'll call that panel data, and we'll say datareader, pass in the ticker with the L. The source is going to be Yahoo. Other sources do exist, but we're going to be using Yahoo for this. Passing the start and end dates like that. Now I've got our data. Then what I want to do is I want to get us the close, but I'm only going to get the adjusted close. So let's quickly write a little method up here just as a generic one, because there are 6 columns that you can get and you can play with. They are open, close, high, low, volume, and adjusted close. We're going to be using the adjusted close. See previous videos for an explanation on why you'd want to use the adjusted close. Basically, it's to do with stock splits, and that, you know, adjusted close accounts for the stock split, so the price will be more accurate in terms of across time. So we'll call this method reindex column, because what we want to do is we want to get only the weekdays, like I mentioned. So we pass in the panel data, pass in the key. Now, for what I'm doing here, I don't actually need to make this method, but if you would to, you know, copy this and maybe you wanted to work on the volume, you could just pass in the volume as the key as opposed to passing in the adjusted close, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to say column is going to be equal to panel data square brackets key, and then reindex, pass in all weekdays. Why have I put all weekends? I keep doing that. Done that twice. It's not all weekends, all weekdays. Cool. Yep, all weekdays. There you go. And then we want to return column dot fill NA, so fill any blank values, basically things that aren't numbers, so that we can actually do stuff with them. I think fill fills it with zeros, if I remember correctly. There we go. Or it might just fill it from the last value it has. Whatever, I can't remember. I probably should know, but there we go. So now we've done that, we can get the adjusted close. So we can say adjusted close. And what we do is we say re-index column, pass in the panel data, pass in the key, which for this is adjust close with capitals. With capitals, yes it is. Yeah, it does matter as well. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if it does matter. Okay, all weekdays, like that. Now I've got the adjusted close. Now let's get the moving 200-day mean. So moving mean 200 days. Really easy to get this. We just say MP mean, and then we say, whoopsie daisy, adjusted close dot tail. Tail just gets you the last values, and if we specify the number, we get the last 200 records, so we get a mean of the last 200 records. And this moves because every day we run it, we get a different 200 days, i.e. we get today minus 200 days, and then tomorrow we get tomorrow minus 200 days. That's what the moving mean is. Maybe you want to print something, just say, you know, what we're doing here. So we'll say ticker L, and then we'll say something like moving 200-day mean, and then we'll say string moving mean. Oh my god, he can't type. 200 days. Cool. Let's get the current price as well, so we can say current price. We're going to need that to calculate the difference between the moving mean and so on and so forth. So say moving MP mean adjusted close dot tail 1, like that, and we'll get the long mean diff, and that's just going to be the current, whoops, needs an equals there. It's going to be the current price minus the moving mean 200 days. Then we'll get the percentage difference, so say moving mean percent diff, and that's just going to be the, let's do the long mean diff divided by the current price, and then times by 100. Excellent. Okay. We now should probably get, what else should we need to get? Nothing actually. Let's just leave it at that. We'll create our little stock object. We'll say stock is going to be equal to, it's going to be equal to a new dictionary. Pass in the ticker. We don't need to pass in the ticker with an L, so we just pass in the normal ticker, which reminds me we still have to implement that method. Date, we'll just say end date, although that's slightly wrong because if we've re-indexed and we've done this on a weekend, then obviously that date's going to be slightly wrong, but oh well, we could just sort of get the last date from the panel data, but I could do that, but it involves a lot more typing, I tell you. We'll get the adjusted close, of course, so we'll just say last adjusted close. We haven't got the last adjusted close, you clown. We don't, no. No, we do. I'll tell you what we do. Instead, we'll say current price is like that. Okay, current price is just going to be current price, like that. Get rid of that. We'll go along. Now I'm thinking, do we need to get the last change? Because that could be quite good, like to know what the. Do we need to get that? No, let's not get it. It's going to make it too long of a video. I'm sure the clever boys and girls at home can figure this one out. If not, I will help you in the comments, so put a comment down and I'll help you if you're looking to figure out what the last price is, the price difference. Okay, and then we'll also pass in the long mean percent diff, long mean percent diff, because we want to know that. And then we'll just say long mean percent diff. Cool. And that is hunky dory. Is there a thing? I can't see if there's the closing thing under there. Okay, we've got the stock now. Now we want to say if the current price is greater than the moving mean. I wish I'd have named this variable a shorter name. Good God, what a terrible idea this was. We'll just print out and say that this is greater. So the price of the ticker, it doesn't have to be ticker L because it's going to be human readable. It's greater than 200. It's greater than 200 day moving mean, and then we'll say well, else price of the ticker is less. Oh my days, 200 days moving mean, and we'll just append it to the below means. So say below means, so append stock. Cool. We also need to quickly cache our exceptions. So one of them is going to be a remote data exception. So we can just say remote data exception here, or remote data error, sorry. However, I'm feeling lazy, so what we're actually just going to do is we're just going to say except, and we'll just say print error for ticker L in this case. So I want to check that like our method that gives us the ticker with the L appended to it is correct, which brings me to the thing now where we need to do that method. So we need to do check method, the check dot method. So we need to say what do we need to do? So we need to say check dot and pass in the ticker like this, and what we're going to do is we're going to say if there is a dot at the first element or the last element, so say tick in ticker square brackets -1, i.e. the last character. And then what we need to do is we need to say return ticker plus L, right? Else if, and there is a case where you could have one that's not in the last character, so it's in the second to last character. And in this case, what we need to do is we need to say we need to create a new method actually, probably. So you say place dot ticker. I'll explain when we get to that method, which will be in a second, why what that's likely to be, and it's specifically related to Pandas data reader. So in the final case, we just need to actually add that L like that. Let's quickly implement that dot method. So we'll say def replace dot ticker, and what we need to say is we need to say I actually don't know why I needed to do a method for this one, but we can just say return. Actually, it's probably cleaner to do it this way. So yeah, there we go. Replace the dot with this. So what this means, and then we want to just say plus dot L. What this means, right, is you can have like a stock. Let's say I don't just off the top of my head, you could have like bg.g, but what data reader will want is bg-g .l, so that's why we need to do this method here. Okay, I think that's all good. So if we quickly have a gander, see if it runs, knowing these videos, it never runs first time, but let's have a gander. What the hell? Oh, I haven't put the word in. This was so good. I bet if that's the only error, that would be remarkable. There's also one thing I want to do as well. I want to go to the bottom of the file and I want to say get stocks, and I only want to get like 5 because it'll take ages to run otherwise. I don't know why I just did that indent. Save it and we'll run it. Is there another error? There is another error. Cram. The month. I thought I'd done well there. Invalid syntax. I think you're talking nonsense. That syntax looks good to me. You lot probably can see it and are screaming at me. What have I done wrong? I am totally blind to what I've done wrong right now. All those. What? That, to use a technical term, is pucker. I don't see what is wrong with that code. Why is it moaning? What? Date range. Comma, there's a comma there. There's no comma there. That's perfect. What is it on with? Okay, I'm going to quickly pause the video and we'll come back when I've found the solution because I'm a fool. Yep, I know what the error is. It's not on this line. It's a misnomer. It's on this line because there's no secondary bracket. Whoops. There we go. And let's try and run it. Come on, come on. It's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. Oh, it doesn't bloody work. Is that another error with a bracket? Perhaps. Yes, it's not an error with a bracket. That one, I don't even know what. I missed what line that was. Bugger. I can see it though. I can see it right there. It's line 52. 52. I haven't put a plus there. I was really hopeful that I only had like one error in this whole script, but apparently I don't. I have many. Ugh. What? So many errors. What are you talking about? Oh, that's because for some reason I thought it was a good idea to put commas there. That was weird. Right, here we are. Error 4 ticket 73. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Let me replace this. Save it. Okay, so I've missed that plus because I was a fool. Okay, here we go. Let's try and run it again. Come on, come on. Boom, it's running. Right, cool, cool. There's some errors. Not 100% sure why there were some errors there. List index is out of range. It actually hasn't put anything into the thing. And the reason for that is because I think I've typed something wrong again. So a gander, where are we looking? Below mean. Have I? I put below means, that's why. Bloody hell. Bloody hell, Harry. Okay. I don't know why there were errors for the other things, but we'll soon figure that out. Here we go. Okay, it's working. And I've put value when I should have put values with an S. Unbelievable. Here's me thinking there was going to be one error. There are many, 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 many errors. Okay, come on. This is the one. Okay, looks like it's doing all right. It's doing all right. It's going to do 5 stocks. It's done 5 stocks. Perfect. Right, that's worked. Excellente. So what we can have a look at now, we've got this new file. Apologies, it's going to go into light mode real quick because we're going to open this in numbers. But what we can see now is we've got this new thing that's got all of our dates. So today's date, got the price, got the tickers, got everything that we could ever want and ever dream about. So, hopefully you found this useful. This was a viewer request, so if you have any viewer requests yourself, just request them and I'll get around to making them at some point. Code's in the description, so is the tickers file. So yeah, cool. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.